Hi there, I'm back with a new video. I bet you all have seen the teaser trailer for Alien Romulus. For me, it's the first time for some time now that I'm actually hyped for a new movie. As I'm a longtime fan of Alien and Aliens, Romulus looks like it's bringing back the horror that was lacking from the other movies that came after the first two installments. When you have Ridley Scott and James Cameron praising the film, there can be only high hopes for this one. In that 62-second teaser, there are so many things that could get you hooked. From the pulse rifle that gave vibes from Aliens, the horde of facehuggers chasing the crew through the corridors, to the scenes where the actors express true horror on their faces. And the inspiration for this movie was taken from the deleted scene in Aliens where you see children in Hudley's Hope. So the director thought to tell a story of the people that grew up in space stations or in colonies. When watching the trailer, it also gave me vibes of Alien Isolation, the video game, if you haven't played that one. Now, I don't know if this movie ties in with the video game, so probably we have to do some research to see if there's any. In the teaser, we also hear the horn or the siren from Prometheus. There's so many subtle Easter eggs sprinkled around this teaser that it helps it get connected with the rest of the movies. So Fede Alvarez gave an interview on The Hollywood Reporter saying how Alien Romulus is connected with Prometheus and Alien Covenant. How was the movie made, and what was the reactions from Scott and Cameron? He gave this interview when the teaser trailer was released to the public, so let's check it out. We're going straight to the interview to see what they asked him. Well, congratulations on the first step towards August release. The teaser was 2 hours too short, but I'm intrigued. Thank you, I'm glad I can finally talk about it. And that's the idea, right? I went to a crazy extent to make sure I showed the minimum amount at this point. It's just enough to get you interested, but not too much. I personally hate spoilers or anything that makes me feel it steals from that night when you finally sit down and watch the movie. And this teaser doesn't steal from that. That's what's great about this teaser. It gives enough just to get us interested without spoiling the whole plot. And that's mainly the big problem with trailers nowadays. If you see a trailer, there's no reason to see the whole movie because they have spoiled it already. So Alien Romulus takes place between Alien and Aliens, but it's reportedly unconnected to those films. Is that correct? That's not correct, but it does take place between the two movies. The way we crafted it is, if you haven't seen any of them, I'm jealous because you'll have an incredible experience. You'll have all those worlds of Alien coming to you, and you never experience any of this. You don't know how the creature is born and don't know any of these things. That's fantastic. You'll have a blast. So Alvarez is making a movie that you don't need to be a longtime fan of the franchise to understand what's going on. And that is very smart of him to do, because while you're catering to the old fans, you want to bring new people into the franchise. So it's crafted in a way, and hopefully it works that way for everybody, but it's connected to all of them. I love all of those movies. I didn't want to omit or ignore any of them when it comes to connections at a story level, character level, technology level, and creature level. There are always connections from Alien to Alien Covenant. He wants to keep the lore from all of the movies that came before it to avoid having any continuity problems like Marvel and DC are having now with those multiversal movies. The synopsis involves a group of young space colonizers and scavengers who encounter the most terrifying life form in the universe inside a rundown space station. Do you choose to focus on a younger cast just because a relatively new dynamic for the franchise? I wish there was some sort of deep thinking strategy about it. It was really more based on Aliens. I remember watching the extended cut of Aliens, and there was a moment when you see a bunch of kids running around the corridors of this colony. What I said earlier, that he's taking the perspective of the children that grew up on colonies and what their dreams and ambitions would be, and would they want to continue their parents' lives. Were you asked to pitch what became Alien Romulus, or did you ask if you could come in and pitched it? Right after Don't Breathe, I had a meeting with Scott Free, Ridley's company, and I think they were about to start doing Alien Covenant. And I mentioned something that I would love to see, and I said, I hope this movie had some of this, and that, and this. And he all was like, oh, that's interesting. What would you do with it? No one was actually asking me to pitch. So actually out of pure luck, he ended up making this movie because they were intrigued and he happened to be in the right moment there. But what I get out of this part too is that he's a big fanboy himself and he just wanted to see some things that he wanted to be in the movie that he loved. Did the response at the 10 screenings ultimately upgrade this movie from Hulu to theatrical? No, it happened before that. I wish I could tell you yes, but no, it was before that. Right when we started shooting it, the studio was like, F it, we're going into theaters with this. So we shot it already knowing that it was for theaters, and the team did such a good job. It's so much better that the movie got a theatrical treatment, because most of the times a straight-to-streaming movie lacks the quality of a cinematic production would have, and these kind of movies should be seen on a big screen. Lastly, you just touched on the Weyland-Yutani spaceship your team built, but overall, how do you balance the practical effects and VFX? For the creatures, we brought in all the guys from Aliens. They were in their early 20s when they made Aliens, and they were part of Stan Winston's team. And now we have them at the top of their game. They have their own shops, so we brought them all together to work on all of the creatures because we went with all animatronics and puppets at every level. I even got the chance to be under the table with them puppeteering all these animatronics. I have this obsession with no green screens, so we built every creature and set. Everything had to be built, so we were really living and breathing in these spaces. But I'm not anti-CG guy. I got the chance to do Evil Dead because I had made this short movie called Panic Attack with a couple of friends and we did all of the CG. As we can see, a lot of the VFX were old school style, which makes it more realistic since the actor has the real thing in front of him, not a small tennis ball. And he's using CGI where the puppets or the animatronics aren't capable to go. And that's the best approach, just to use CGI where it's needed. And he even got the chance to puppeteer with those legends. Lucky fellow. From the looks of it, the Alien franchise is in good hands. Fede Alvarez seems to be fully invested in this movie by putting every single detail in place to make this a great film. We just have to be a little bit patient until the 16th of August to see what they have in store for us. If you want to read the rest of the article, I'll leave a link below. So what do you say? Are you all hyped for Alien Romulus like I am? Write it down in the comments section below. And don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you and have a good one.